they are gone. Most of the kibbutzim are capitalists like everybody else. But when you are saying about the settlements, most of the first settlements, the whole reason for them was security, that we need to be secure against Jordan, Egypt, all of this. Today, everybody understands that those settlements have nothing to do with security. But still, and the settlements become right wings or religious. When they started, were the leftists. I mean, the Golda and everybody else that has the government did it. So how do you explain this shift that suddenly it's not anymore about security, it's only about religious?
Well, it's interesting because I think that what's happening with Bennett and the pro-settlement religious Zionist party is that they're shifting away from a religious argument now, very much towards back toward a security argument. You see it in the rhetoric that they're putting out because they're trying to appeal to a broader base. He's trying to go beyond the knitted kippah, the religious Zionist community, and to some extent he's succeeding. But I think that the story that like Dreamers tells, it tells several parallel stories. And one of the stories it tells is the move of pioneering Zionism, the shift from the kibbutz movement to the settlements. But the story doesn't end there with the victory of the settlements, because I think that both of these pioneering movements ultimately failed. And where they both failed was in winning the trust of your average Israeli that this is the avant-garde of Zionism. This is where society needs to go. Now, the kibbutz movement really once was seen by many Israelis as they're the real Israelis. This is the ideal Israeli. And when they began to decline after '67, especially after the rise of the Likud, the settlers were hoping to take their place. To some extent, they have in the army. The elite units are filled with kids from the religious Zionist community, much more than the kibbutz movement. When in 1967, 50% of the paratroopers, which was the elite unit of those years, 50% of the paratroopers were kibbutzniks, 70% of the paratroopers of the officers were kibbutzniks. Today, in some of those commando units, it's now the religious Zionists. So in that sense, the settlers have succeeded, but they haven't succeeded in convincing mainstream Israel that their program is going to bring us security, as you put it. So for me, the open-ended question of the book is these two pioneering utopian movements. The kibbutz movement had a big dream of Israel as being an egalitarian experiment, a laboratory for democratic communism. And the settlements, at least initially, really were motivated by this messianic dream, that the Messiah is literally imminent. And these two messianic movements have both faltered. And this is the first time in the history of Israel, I would even say the history of Zionism, where we don't have a utopian vision. There's no movement within Zionism today, within Israeli society, that's offering us some grand fantasy that will sustain us. And I don't know if Israeli society can continue in the long term to meet all of the challenges that we face without some grand vision.
Yes, but Yossi, I've heard you talk about two themes that are current in Israeli society right now, which are both very Jewish visions. They may not be messianic, they may be more nuts and bolts, but they're grounded very much so in who we all are as Jews. One of those is security. One of those is we have to take care of ourselves. One of those is Purim, as seen through the prism of Shabbat Zachor. and being wary of those of the Amaleks want to destroy us. That's a vision. That's a program that is real and speaks to many people in Israel. And then you also talk about another vision, which is the Jewish vision that asks, well, why are we Jews? What is the mission of Abraham? The mission of Abraham is to be a blessing. Not only to take care of ourselves for security's sake alone, but so that we can be a blessing to the society, which includes not only Jews, but the non-Jews who live among us.